The last that didn't last.
As I sit down in the bridesmaid seat at my sister's wedding, it reminds me of my past life. Maybe one day I'll also be standing on the next altar to my future husband, which at this point seems like a dream that will never come to pass. Maybe it's the life I lived, or maybe the life I now live. Looking back, I still don't know if I would have changed the decision I made back then, but I sure regret the life I lived. Staring at my sister saying her vows is like a nightmare to me, because how could she have lived such a perfect life without the worries that now consume me? She is smiling so beautifully, looking up at her husband, who is in return stares at her like a rare treasure. Why, I always ask myself, could no one stare at me that way? Maybe they can see my past sins splattered on my face, and those wrongs I did when I knew I wasn't supposed to. My name is Anita. I'm just 29 years old. Most people say I'm old enough to be married, while my parents are worried maybe I will never fall in love. Maybe it's because they've never seen me with a potential man, or maybe I just hid details of my life so well that no one could realize. I normally don't let pressure get to me, but today in particular, I feel like my world will crumble, because how could my 25-year-old sister be married before me? My life wasn't always simple. I was filled with a lot of challenges that I may sincerely say I brought them upon myself. At the age of 16, I wanted to drop out of school as I felt it wasn't benefiting me in any way. I wanted to be free and start a life of selling beers at a nearby bar, as I had a boyfriend then who promised to give me the whole world and marry me. What was I supposed to do as a naive girl? I was promised all bed and roses. Of course, I would want to do everything for this man. Unfortunately, our love did not last long, as I was caught by my parents sneaking out one Tuesday night during the holidays, going to a club with him. He was known as a notorious people in the estate, and me being caught with him was like adding fuel to the fire. I was grounded and restricted not to go out of the house until I was 18 years. To my shock, when I was finally free to go about my life, Kevin, my boyfriend, had already found himself another woman. Life after Kevin wasn't easy. I spent endless nights, and the zeal to go on with life was gone. My mother feared that I would get depressed and sent me to a therapy. I can't say the therapy helped, as the minute I got into college, I was already seeking for a male attention. My friend Ariana used to have an expensive lifestyle in which I really admired, but she never disclosed the source of her money. Ariana always begged about her family being rich, and somehow everyone believed her. On one of our friendly dates with her, she told me she wanted to introduce me to her boyfriend. I was shocked to see an old man walk by, only to embrace her later. It seems odd to see her with an old man, but she seemed happy, because why wouldn't she be happy? And she had all she wanted in a snap of her finger. To be honest, I admired her life. I needed her life and all the benefits she got from it. I wanted to go on an expensive dates and ride in an expensive car. I needed to experience an expensive vacation in an hotel in Mombasa across the sea. I wanted to be sponsored to go abroad for a weekend getaway. All these I knew I wouldn't get at the comfort of my parents' home. The question that rang in my head were how I was supposed to get this lifestyle that I really yearned for. I was introduced to a 55-year-old man by the name of Harry, who had a wife and 5 children. This is a man I cannot forget, because he was the first ever sugar daddy who gave me a life that I can describe as paradise. Harry treated me as a queen. and gave me everything I asked for. And in no time, even my pride grew. Unfortunately, for the fishy business, it doesn't always last, and I had to look for replacement every now and then to supply my now rich lifestyle. Moving from one sugar daddy to another was sometimes devastating, as they all had different demands, and also the pay would vary every now and then. Sometimes I was determined to live that life and go back to being a normal young girl. But how could I? How do I just stop something that was now my livelihood? I still remember the pregnancy scare I once got and the pills I swallowed to eliminate the unborn child, if there was any. I could not imagine getting pregnant, and not because it would be such a bad thing, but how would I explain to my parents that the father of my child was the same age as them? Sometimes the most threatening event would occur in the forbidden relationship, whereby I would end up beaten by their family members or even get myself locked in jail for accusation that I pleaded not guilty. Let's not talk about the days younger manner, less men would want to take advantage of me due to my lifestyle with the excuse that I have done worse things. Looking back, I regret not finding someone who would show me true love. Sometimes all I want is someone to be genuine when they love me instead of spoiling people's marriages or being a side chick. Maybe my karma caught up with me because getting back to the dating scenes is hard. No man wants a used girl, as they term it, would accept my past, but I have no right to blame them. Nonetheless, I can't go back to a normal life because where will I get all that money that I'm used to? I'm in too deep to get out, so maybe one day I will grow out of it, or maybe I will change my ways. I will find true love, but for now, I silently watch as my sister walk down the aisle with her now husband as they head to their happily ever after. If only I could change the decisions I made in the past.
This is O Africa, the last that didn't last. The story is written by Edith Temba and the voice done by Gabriel Mukasa. Visit us on YouTube at O Africa Simulizi for great content.